Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Lady K Chat, a podcast that has been designed for divorced women to become a better version of themselves. Various subjects will be speaked upon, such as relationship, personal development, health and wellness, wealth building, children, and so much more. The shows will be aired every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by the lovely host, who is an international speaker, two-time Amazon bestseller author, and a divorce life coach, Kalima, aka Lady K. And now for your host, Lady K. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in today's episode of Kids in You. And today I have a little combination of what I want to talk about. First, I would like to start off by talking about us as parents, and are we aware of some of our behaviors and the behaviors that we may have encountered for a while? Are we seeing the same things in our kids? And if you are seeing it in your children, what are you doing about it? Because remember, we always heard that expression, kids don't go by what you say, kids go by what you do. And a lot of time, us parents, we preach to our kids about, listen to what I say. Yeah, that's exactly, they're going to listen. They hear you, but they're actually going to do what you do. So do you take accountability? Do you take accountability in yourself as a parent to say, you know what, I don't like what I'm seeing, and for my kids to change, I'm going to change first, instead of you saying, oh no, he doesn't change and I'm the mommy and I can do what I want to do. Because again, remember, I just want to remind you, kids do what they see. So we want our kids to put in the work, but we don't want to work on ourselves. That's really big. Come on now, you gotta, you're the adult. And you used to hate it when your parents used to tell you, do as I say, not as I do. So how can you want something different for your kids if you're displaying the same thing? Primary example for me, and I'm very transparent about this. I think I shared this a little bit before once. I said when my mother was growing up, she used to yell, 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 yell. Excuse me, and I couldn't stand it. I'm like, ugh, she just yell, right? So when I had my children, especially my oldest, because he is now almost 17, I realized that I was doing the same thing, and I said I hate it. It's kind of interesting that some of the things that we said we can't stand or we hate what our parents did, we find ourselves doing the same things. Yes, and to some degree, our parents were right in some things, but that's not what I'm saying in this message. It's pretty much how you're doing it. It's the how. It's the delivery. And we always know it's always about the delivery, because sometimes somebody can say something to you, but how they say it to you, that matters the most. So it's the same things, ladies and gentlemen. We got to teach our kids by example. We can't just say, hey, you do it. No, it starts with you. What are you going to want to put the work in yourself so you can be a better reflection? And your kids can be a reflection of you. It's time to take responsibility. It is hard, but you got this little person admiring you, and they're watching your every move, and they're admiring you. Let me tell you a little bit about my oldest son. His name is Tony. Tony's really laid back. He's quiet. He has his little times where he wants to talk to his mommy. Tell me a little stuff. But majority of the time, he's just quiet. However, he's observant. Very observant. One day I was doing something. I can't remember, but I glanced at the corner of my eye, and I just felt my son watching me. He's watching me. He's smiling now. I don't know what that was about. I didn't want to, put him on a spot, but I just had an aha moment and said, "Wow, the child is watching me." I got to be mindful and careful with some of the stuff that I do. Excuse me. And then within myself, because he is a certain age now, I can be open and talk to my son about certain things. And I remember when I was young, I think I had questions for my mom, but it was really uncomfortable for her. And and I can just tell by the responses that it made me feel as I can't open up to her. So if I felt that way as a child, imagine how my teenager son feel. So I had to remind my son to let him know that I once was his age. I probably did some of the stuff that you thinking about doing. And you know what I'm trying to say? And to let him know that, it's normal to go through some of these things. So however, now when I say I wanted to talk half base on my second half is to talk about sexuality. Yes. So to get to our kids to talk about, to open up about their sexuality to us, again in the beginning, we have to make them feel comfortable. We have to be receptive, and we can't just react so fast because they're not going to want to come back and talk to us. Because you should be curious. Because I remember one day I had a conversation again with my 17-year-old. I feel like it's very imperative because he's at that age and he's getting close to stepping into adulthood. So lately, I just been having a lot of different talks with my son about life, finances, sexuality, everything. And I just really feel as parents is really important because guess what? Sometimes we think they're not listening to us. They are, but they don't understand it until they get a little bit older. So when they do get older and they reflect back, they can say, you know what, my mom did speak to me about these things. And that's what you want to do because when they get older and they are out your house, you want them to continue to call you and say, hey, mom, I went through this. How do I do that? And, your reaction is going to be everything. So again, we have to be mindful of how we react to our kids. And talking about sexuality, whether your child is straight or not, you should just love them and embrace them. Somebody put this on my Facebook, put it on my Facebook. I came across this post, and it was so true, so imperative. And I'm like, wow, we need to talk about that. Like sometimes people will it pretty much said people will shun their kids because of their sexuality, and in this case because it was gay. And I was like, how can you turn your back on your child? Yes, you may have a certain belief, and I understand that, but that's your belief. And that's another thing too, we have to understand our children is getting older. They need support. They need to know they can voice their opposite without you jumping down their black. Now, even though deep down inside, parents, we are feeling it. But again, it's how we respond, how we handle the situation. And I think it's pretty sad that people would turn their own backs on their own children because they have another sexual preference. It's crazy. So again, parents, how do you talk to your kids about their sexuality? Have you? Do you feel uncomfortable about it? And if you do, I think you need to check yourself and have a conversation with yourself before you go ahead and mess it up for that kid. I think it's important for you as a parent to talk about it and don't sweep it under the rug. See, a lot of the things that were swept under the rug with us, we felt some type of way because our parents never talked to us about it. Or maybe we never even thought about it. But I'm saying the sooner and the faster that you act and you talk to these kids about these things, your kids will come around. Some may be rebellious. They might be rebellious for a short period of time, but eventually they will come back around and they will want to open up and talk to you about this subject and much more. But parents, I really think within this day and age, it's just crucial to talk to your kids about you know, their preferences. Like I asked my son, I'm like, oh, what kind of girls you like? You like, girls with blue hair? I mean, blue eyes, brown eyes, blonde. Do you like Caucasian girls? Do you like Black, African American girls? Spanish? What's your preference? Then I said to myself, oh, I said, you know what? I just assume. I said, wait a minute. Are you attracted to men? Because if you are, it's okay. I said, because the only thing that will be different is that I'm going to change the conversation. How do you like men? And my son just sat there and he laughed at me. He was like, oh, Mom, uh, but I'm happy I threw it out there just for him to know that either way I still love her. And I told him, I said, I know this feel awkward, but mommy just want to let you know that she loves you. And, when you're ready to talk about this, let's talk about it. But I threw it out there and I put it out there in the atmosphere. So now he knows, okay, mommy's not bad about that. And I said, you know what? You can talk to me. And now, time and time again, I tell him, you can talk to me. So, with that being said, and because of that, my son comes around. And little by little, again, he's watching me, he's watching my body language. Then he'll come and talk to me about certain stuff. And then when he see my response, he gets happy. Now, please believe me, when I first, and now that I'm a little older and wiser, I start to change um how I see about some things, and I had to get to myself that my son is going to be a young man soon. It really just is hitting me more and more. So I had to change my approach. I had to change some things about me so I can get to him, because it's all about his future. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that was very helpful. Again, continue to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Lady K Chat, and on my website at www.ladykcoaching.com. Excuse me. And also to let you know that coaching is available. You can click on the link above if you're on the Facebook, and if you're just go directly on my website, it'll be under the coaching tab. That if you are struggling to tap into your purpose, this is what I'm here for. Have a good night, everyone. Lady K.